This is the Bojangles postgame report. I'm Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman head men's basketball coach Chuck Benson. Chuck, congratulations on the victory. You jump out to a 23-point lead, then have to salt things away as LR makes a push late. What'd you do to, A, jump out to that lead, and then, B, hang on?
Yeah, first of all, I've got to give a shout-out to my main man, Colin Crane. He, of course, is a Florida Gator now, and he called and gave some encouraging words to the team after Florida's victory today over Alabama. He texted and wanted me to give a nice couple of words to them. He knows how important this game was, and we appreciate that. And he was going to be in Gainesville today following us, so we're really happy for how things are going with Colin. But now let's get back to this game at hand. What was your question again, Cam? I was having to remind myself so much.
I should have psychically linked with you and said, just talk about Colin Crane for 20 seconds. You jumped out to it, had a 24-4 first half run, lead by 23 at times early in the second half. Then LR makes a push. What'd you do to make the run? Then B, what'd you do to hang on?
Well, it was sort of surprising, because LR is a team that we have had so much trouble with in terms of scoring points, and that you've made it very clear to me so many times in the last couple of weeks that we've really struggled against Lenoir-Rhyne as a team, and that individually Ish and Antoine had been struggling, and I actually put that out there to let those guys know, and maybe it would motivate. And of course, I think it motivated both of them. But we were so efficient, and we shot the ball at such a high percentage of the first half that, I mean, it speaks for itself. We had some good shots, but then we had those two guys in particular make tough shots, and that's, when you have players that can make the kind of shots they made, they're just tough to deal with. And then, of course, I think when you're shooting 79% in the field, 63% from the three, that can sort of demoralize any opponent. But the thing about LR that we knew, as I told our guys at half, it scared me to death. You got a 20-point lead at the half, and I'm sitting there thinking, can we handle the prosperity? We've not traditionally handled prosperity very well. And so what happened the second half was not one bit surprising. We've been there before this season, even in last season at times, and thankfully we were able to sort of just stay true to the plan and finish it out.
The things you alluded to, never had a 70-point game against the Bears, or scored more than 70. You had scored 70 once. So most points that you've scored against LR all time. And then Antoine Davis and Ish Sanders had never scored more than 20 in their careers, and they go off.
Well, Ish wanted to make sure he got that done in a half, just for emphasis. Just to make sure that there was no question that he could do that. And so I was very happy for the way he and Antoine both just were so aggressive and so purposed. You could see in the way they attacked that they weren't there was no question in their minds what they were going to do with the ball.
How do you deal with a guy like Alex Watkins? I don't know what your scouting report said on him, but coming in, he'd only shot 2 threes and played in 8 games, but
he wasn't on the scouting report.
That's what I figured.
And what we've learned over time is that typically with the way we play, there's some unsung hero that comes out of nowhere. But when that happens, a lot of times that takes shots away from other guys. And so, for him to take those shots, that meant that McClure didn't get his typical shots and led to a very inefficient night for him.
Very inefficient. 5 of 19 from the field, 5 of 17 from 3. And really, it was only late when he hit 3 in a row that were at least 2 of them that I can think of were contested, that he upped those numbers. What'd you do to clamp down on him defensively?
Well, I mean, like I said, the first half I think we were so hot, and we did a pretty decent job of trying to identify where he was at, and I think he had 1 maybe the first half. But we knew that they got their rears chewed pretty good at the half and would come out resilient and ready to they weren't going to lay down. They would come out and try to compete the second half, which is what they did. And I told our guys, I said, look, McClure is going to come out here and go like a madman trying to put points on the board for the team because they need him to do that. And he went out there and sort of stayed true to what we thought. And of course, then late, he jumps there and throws 2 or 3 bombs in there, which he's capable of doing. And thankfully, we were able to hold on.
Thing too, they only turned over 5 times. It was a little bizarre to win a game like this when the opposition's taking that good care of the basketball.
I'll tell you, well, there's 2 things really. We out-rebounded them, but the telltale stat is when we doubled them in terms of free throws. They took 15, we took 30, and that goes back to our north-south attack. And when you get those when you out-rebound and you lead a team in free throws like that, you're going to win a lot of games. And despite the fact that they had a really nice second half, we still had enough of a good first half that it was too much to overcome.
Chuck, pleasure's ours. Congrats on the victory, and we'll talk to you Monday night at Gondolier.
Great. Thanks, Kev.
Carson